think right now the prosecution, they're still presenting their case. But I mean, honestly, if you listen to opening statements that Letecia's lawyers made, they honestly sat out there already defeated. They're like, one of the lawyers was trying to do a thing where he did an opening statement and he was like, you know what? Like, what's the point? And then he like walks out towards the door and then the judge's like, is this real? Like, what's going on? He like walks out towards the door and then he makes a U-turn. He's like, never mind, guys. Like, I can't leave. This is my job. I have to do this. And I was like, that's a very interesting opening statement. Oh, gosh.
And this is the right hand, the back of the right hand. And you can see here that you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 wounds here.
The back of the right hand, meaning he was trying to shield himself. Poor baby.
You can see like the edges are clean cut caused by a sharp object.
And we're looking at these in conjunction with the last photo of the arm and then this one here with hands. When we're talking about cuts to the hands in the forearm areas of Gannon Stauch, how would you characterize those types of wounds?
They're consistent with defensive wounds,
okay.
Trying to protect yourself.
Indicating that potentially Gannon was putting his hands up to guard against whatever was happening?
Yes.
And then they get cut in the process of that?
Yes.
Okay. 162, please.
Yeah, look at her in the corner over there. Here in Germany, we have something called forensic wing in mental institutions. They're effectively like a prison, but for perpetrators who have done their deeds due to being mentally ill. Look at her demeanor. I know she's got to do this for the jury, right? She's got to either show sympathy, remorse, or I think what she's trying to do right now is just be like, show how crazy she is, how insane she is, how mentally unstable she is. I think that's why she's like doing this whole hair thing. And like, I wish we could zoom in a little bit more. She sounds like a monster. She is a monster. I'm not sure. It sounds like it's possible they might let her out if they determine that she's bad. Right? I'm like, no, don't let her out. Oh, God.
This one shows, excuse me. This one shows the right hand, like the palmar aspect of the right hand. And this is another cut in the middle finger, right middle finger.
Because here's my thing. Even though I think she was like, no, she wasn't even a stay-at-home mom. Hold on a second. I got that wrong in my video. I forgot. She was not a stay-at-home mom. She had a job. She was working. She was working as a teacher's assistant. This woman had the wherewithal to get the fuck out of the relationship if she didn't want to be a babysitter to her man's kids. Like, she had a daughter that was biologically related to her, but her daughter was 17 years old. She could have GTF'd. She had so many outs and she chose the wrong one. She chose the worst one. Because, you know, like, I understand if you're like a stay-at-home mom, you have no resources and you think you're trapped, you're stuck, but like, she had a job. Her daughter was 17 years old. Daughter could take care of herself. Daughter also had a job as well. She could have get the fuck out of the relationship if she was so unhappy. Did you guys find out about her search results, her internet history? Oh my God, they were so bad.
3.
It's the same photo right there.
Okay, and this is just
the ring finger.
Right.
This is a that's the middle finger and the ring finger's right here.
Okay. And then you're just pulling the fingertip back to be able to see that particular cut more towards the, I guess, the pad of the fingertip?
Yes.
164, please.
So we're looking at his back, and there's a sharp force injury on the left upper back right there.
This sharp force injury to the upper back, was this one of the deeper sharp force injuries that you were able to document that Gannon suffered?
Yes, it fractured the left 6th rib, and it also penetrated the left 5th intercostal space. So that's the space between the 5th and...
Wait, this was in the back? Oh, do you think at this point he was trying to hunch and like protect? Oh my God, protect his... Oh.
And 6 ribs.
Does that then cause, I guess, entry into, I guess, the back side of the chest cavity? Does it go that deep?
Yes, it does enter the chest cavity.
165.
And that's a close-up view of the back injury.
Again, is this a sharp force injury similar to the other sharp force injuries we've been looking at this morning?
Yes.
166.
So there's another sharp force injury here. Another one here.
Would this be essentially the backside of Gannon's left shoulder?
Yes. So this wound ended in the scapula.
Yeah, I think initially he was trying to shield himself by using his hands like this. And at some point, he probably just like balled up in like fetal position maybe or something like that, you know? And that's what, and she was like attacking his back.
The bone here, so it just went through the bones, the shoulder blade. And then this one went deeper into the shoulder joint, the left shoulder joint, about 4 inches deep.
4 inches deep, you said?
Yes.
167, please. This is a close-up of that more shallow injury, and then the other deeper one is apparent sort of to the left of that?
Yes.
There appears to be some black fiber there. Can you tell the jury what that is?
It could be from his jacket or t-shirt.
So basically fibers from clothing.
Yes.
Is it common for fibers from clothing?
All right, we're going to slip in a commercial break.
Were there missed opportunities to protect the child? The family known to was the family known to Child Protection Services? I have no idea. From what I've heard, from what I've read in articles, it seems like there were friends and family members who thought she was really good with the kids. But in terms of like, did the teacher suspect anything? Did other family members suspect anything? I don't know.
Here, it's just horrible.
Did her brother testify on behalf of the state? Did the state rest their case yet?
Detailing the wounds that Gannon Stauch sustained, including 18 stab wounds, many
On Murder Trial today.
Second. Doomsday. Okay, we're back here. Thanks, Court TV.
I counted 18.
And then as it relates to the number of blunt force injuries that Gannon suffered, how many did those occur?
4 lacerations.
4 lacerations that coincide with blunt force injury?
Yes.
Okay. If we can move on to 179.
Oh man, is
What are we
his
looking
dad
at
in the
in
back
179?
right now?
So this is the left side of the face. Here's the ear, head, eye area. This is the jaw, the left side of the jaw, lower jaw. And there's a hole right here.
What caused that hole?
This is due to a gunshot wound.
180.
And this is a close-up gunshot wound.
Is it typical, doctor, when you document a gunshot to try to figure out path the bullet traveled as it entered into a human victim?
Yes.
Did you do that in this case?
Yes.
What else did her brother testify about, Daniela, that like stood out?
Can you describe, either using the diagrams or just through words, however you want to do it, can you describe the path that this particular bullet took through Gannon as it entered his body?
I think we should use.
Okay, I'll come over and help.
Oh.
145. So I'm going to hold this up actually, doctor, if that's okay. That's, well, they won't be able to see it.
Okay.
Like that.
So the entrance gunshot wound was in the left side of the jaw, lower jaw, the mandible. This entered the oral cavity. It hit the cervical, the second and third cervical vertebrae. So it went to the back. It crossed the midline, and I recovered the projectile. It didn't enter the skull, the cranial cavity. So I recovered it on the right side where the muscles are of the neck. So there was a projectile that went from left to right and then front to back.
And then, so when you recovered the projectile, was it still in the basically the muscle tissue in the back of the head?
Yes.
Okay. So, doctor, you can sit back down if you'd like. When we're talking about the types of injuries that Gannon, that you're able to identify as that Gannon had suffered, 18 sharp force injuries, 4 blunt force lacerations, and then 1 gunshot through the chin. Does that indicate to you that there's some progression that these injuries had to occur in?
Yes.
Tell the jury what we mean by that and what it is that you're using to
Dude,
rely on
she's
and make that
shuffling around
conclusion.
so much in the back over there.
Regarding the sharp force injuries coming first,
Well, do you know which one came first?
I don't really know, but I'm thinking that it's the sharp force injuries because he could still defend himself. And then I don't know which one came first, the gunshot wound or the blunt trauma to the head, which caused fractures of his skull and bleeding in his brain.
So the best that you can tell is that sharp force injuries occurred before gunshot. Is that right?
Yes.
But it's unclear whether blunt force or gunshot, which one of those occurred first.
Yes.
Does that indicate some period of time to achieve all of those injuries for whoever was attacking him?
Her brother testified today for the prosecution. He testified that he saw her having trouble with the suitcase that Gannon was in. He said that she was struggling with it because it was heavy. What did she tell the brother that was in the suitcase? Was she just like, yeah, I just have like a lot of like clothes in here?
Yes.
The fact that there's 18 sharp force injuries
Yes.
and then 4 blunt force injuries
Yes.
and then a gunshot that entered into the lower left chin and traveled through the oral cavity and all that.
Yes.
What were you able to rule as the cause and manner of death for Gannon Stauch?
My cause of death was gunshot wound and blunt
It was softball equipment. Did the brother think it was weird that the suitcase never appeared ever again?
head trauma of the head.
Were there contributing factors to the cause of death?
Yes. Sharp force injuries.
Those 18 sharp force injuries that we talked about?
Yes.
And what was the manner of death?
Homicide.
Is it typical, doctor, that you perform a toxicology test as well
Yes.
when you do an autopsy?
Yes.
What is the purpose of doing a toxicology report?
We do it in all violent deaths, and it's to determine whether there were any drugs or what drugs were in the system.
He said she knows what's wrong and what's right. Good. Good, good, good. I hate it when family members just blindly just protect others just because they're a family, no matter what wrongdoing there is. Yeah, it was so sad because when he first got up in the stand, he was like, "Why, Tisha? Why?" They had to excuse the jury. Oh, so he had to calm down. Gotcha. Jeez. I mean, she's got brother. She's got a daughter who's like, I think in her 20s now. Like, yeah, it's the way that it's going to affect other people. That's tough.
Was that performed on Gannon Stauch?
Yes.
Was there anything unusual detected in Gannon Stauch at the time of autopsy?
There were some drugs, or there was a drug that was present.
Okay, so let's talk first.
18 stab wounds, 4 blunt force injuries to the head causing bleeding.
Jeez, is that it? Oh, wait, it's just him interjecting.
There are certain rules that we're following. You see the witness there. Letecia Stauch, the defendant, is all the way over to the one side of your screen, wearing the light color. And for most of this, she has had her head down. Now she has her just kind of fist in her chin and is listening to it. For most of the day, her head has been down as the details of what happened to her 11-year-old stepson were given to this jury.
He's 10 years younger. He was in tears.
And by just looking at her behavior, and with her, it seems.
Okay. All right. I think that's it for Letecia Stauch. I definitely will keep an eye on this and then just read the law and crime articles and stuff like that. Jeez. You know, when the defense goes, I wonder how short their